In this unit, we're going to have a look at the opportunities for getting involved in physical activity. So once you've become a performer, over time, maybe age gets hold of you, possibly injuries, there needs to be other opportunities that people can do to still remain involved in an activity. And that's quite a popular question that you might get on a GCSE exam question. So what other roles are there for somebody to take part in? Well, there's three main ones really. So we have leadership, officiating and volunteering. So for instance, in the London Marathon, there needs to be volunteers on the side who might be able to dish out water or be able to help in a medical situation. The 2012 Olympics was really reliant on the volunteers, so they were called the games makers. So there were really key volunteering roles in certain sports and certain activities. Obviously, leadership is another role. So you might become a coach and take on that leadership role, so therefore you might still remain involved in a sport even when you're too old or not able to play. And the next one is officiating. So you might become an official, and by that we mean a referee or a linesman or an umpire in certain sports. So there are three different roles that somebody can take part in, even though they might not be able to be a participant. So it's probably the reason why your PE teachers ask you to bring your PE kit, even when you might be injured. So we're going to move on now to looking at the initiatives about getting people actually involved in sport from the off. So we just looked at, when we might be able to not be a performer anymore, but what do the government do and what do different agencies do to ensure that we get more people being active and playing sport? Well, the government really try and take PE as a high priority activity. So what they do is they ensure that all schools should have 2 hours of high quality PE every week. So that's something that is a policy, so schools should try and do that as much as they can. A few years ago, there were school sports partnerships also created by the government. Now, they don't necessarily exist anymore because the new government changed and took that away. However, it's something to be aware of, but you won't necessarily be examined on. So your school might be maybe a sports college and could be linked to a school sports partnership, or might even run a school sports partnership. So you might have had fixtures or festivals which would be associated with this initiative. The next one is about Sport England. Now, Sport England have a particular mantra, okay, and they say that their aim is about start, stay and succeed. So by that, they try and get as many people participating in sport. So by that, it means that they're going to try and get as many young people keen about sport by trying to get lots of different opportunities for them to take part. The next bit is to try and get people to remain involved, and that's this part is called stay. So stay is about retaining people in sport through trying to use clubs, by trying to improve facilities, and maybe trying to improve coaching. And the final one is about succeeding. So if you've got people participating, you need to get them to try and be very good at that activity over time. So they create opportunities for gifted and talented performers to achieve success at the highest level. Now, one other initiative that you might have been aware of at your own school is the Active Kids program. So things like Sainsbury's and Asda and Tesco give out vouchers when people go shopping, and that's them given to the schools to allow them to buy equipment or improve their facilities. So one example of these is the Active Kids program at Sainsbury's. So that might be something that you use about how facilities can be improved through these initiatives. Now, once we've got people involved in sport, we want to try and make them as good as possible so we can try and have really strong national teams and try and be successful at World Cups and Olympics. So what we've got here is something called the Sports Participation Pyramid. And the aim of this is to try and establish about how we go from being a very novice at a sport to how we become excellent or elite. So this pyramid has 4 stages. The bottom is called the foundation. The next step on top of that is called participation. Then it's performance. And then it's excellence. So we start at foundation, which is the bottom, which is the biggest area. So this is the thing that more people will go through because it's got the biggest bit at the bottom. Now, this area is where we're trying to refine certain sporting skills or basic skills about movement in primary PE lessons. When we go up to this participation stage, this is where we might be doing school festivals or multi-skills clubs, maybe sports clubs might be coming in this stage within your school. At the performance stage, we're getting now specific skills by maybe specific coaches. So we might be in a high quality school team, we might be in a very good club team outside of school. So you might be developing your skills towards maybe something like the London Youth Games. The final one is about elite and excellence performers. So at this elite stage, this is where the pyramid is very narrowest. So that says that the fewest amount of people are in this stage. So very few people get to play for their country. Very few people get to represent a national squad in a world championships. And these are the people that we're talking about. The very cream of the crop, the top of the tree. So someone like Rebecca Addington, who was a very good swimmer, she was a world champion, had a world record, she'd be in this elite stage. Maybe somebody who's just at a club level wouldn't get to that stage. So we need to understand that we go from foundation to participation to performance and to excellence. So that's 1.1.2 out of the way. So if you try the exam, you might get some of these questions. If you're not feeling that confident, try the topic test of 1.1.2, which is about influences on your healthy and active lifestyle.